Welcome back to Weekend Out. My name is Gaurav. Naam to suna hoga. It's time to now tell you what is KKK. KKK stands for Candid Connections with Kritika. This is an event that happened just some time back, and Kritika once again has taken the bar higher in candidly connecting with real-life heroes. This is a unique event where Kritika was in conversation with real-life hero Dr. Kiran Bedi. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the very first episode of Candid Connection with Kritika, an initiative of 105.4 Radio Spice.
Kritika, a name synonymous with connection. After having connected with and forming a unique bond on radio with the people of the UAE, Kritika has now extended this connection in the form of an event called Candid Connections with Kritika, conceptualized and brought to you by 105.4 Radio Spice. Kritika is known as the Oprah Winfrey of the region and is also referred to as the voice of the Asian community in the UAE. In the first one-of-its-kind Candid Connections with Kritika, she was in conversation with Dr. Kiran Bedi.
Welcome to Dubai.
Thank you.
You're our first guest. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
First means of the first show?
Of the first show,
Wow.
absolutely.
Wow. Another first. Thanks.
All right, ma'am, I just spoke about your story. You're called Kiran Bedi. What did you feel at that point of time? A ticket to the then Prime Minister of India, that's Indira Gandhi. What went through your mind? Were you not scared? Didn't it cross your mind that I shouldn't be doing this maybe?
It was the right thing to do.
I think we need to clap for that. It's as simple as that. All right, this is my first question to you. Now, you have in the recent past exposed this whole unholy nexus between politicians and corruption. You are an anti-corruption crusader, a warrior. Do you think that now, because of that, there is a systematic approach where you're being targeted today in the country for the people who you've been fighting for in front of them?
Not only me. In this country, whistleblowers are being targeted. Scores of whistleblowers have been shot dead or they've been run over by a vehicle. So in this country, many whistleblowers have lost their lives in different states of India. It started with Manjunath, if you remember, from Bihar, when he blew the whistle of corruption by private sector road builders or engineers. So I'm not the only target. Today, anybody who is hitting at a vested interest of corruption as a whistleblower is a target.
You've always said that politicians are part of the problem. They're not the solution. My question to you today is, then what is the solution?
Politicians. They are a part of the problem and they are also the solution. Good politicians will be the solution and bad politicians are the problem. And you have both. You have the good and the bad and the ugly. We need the good ones, and there are good people outside. The good people need to unite to send good people to the parliament with minimum expenditure.
Right.
That's the key. So they are also the solution, and they're also the problem.
But something like a good politician, don't you think that's an oxymoron? Are they really good politicians?
See, the culture of high commands in this country has overtaken. A high command and a party whip. So you have many, many good people, but then they are under a high command. One word, people are electing these good people, but high command is directing them what the party wants. So while the people have elected that independent good person, the high command policy or the party policy then changes.
A lot of people say that this whole anti-government approach is a personal agenda for you.
There's nothing personal in this movement at all.
I've read, you've said, never apologize for speaking the truth. And when I speak the truth, I seek no support, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
Are you never scared?
Of course I'm scared. I'm scared of the might of nature. Nature can always strike. 10 out of 100 things which happen in your life, 90 are your generated, but 10 are nature sent, over which you have no control. It could be a death of your absolutely near and dear.
Right.
It could be a tragedy while you've done nothing wrong. So you've got to be afraid of that. You've got to be wary that 10 can happen, 90 may be prevented, but that 10, an earthquake, a volcano, or an accident, or a death, can happen. All that is in your hands is keep the effort on. What is not in your hands is the reward of that effort.
Tell us about an experience, a moment when you sat in your bed at night and you thought, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? Is it even worth it?
I'm not doing anything on somebody else's asking. Whatever I'm doing today, I believe I'm doing what needs to be done. And tomorrow, if I feel that it's not needing to be done, I cannot be forced by anybody to do it. I don't follow people.
Kiranji, my next question to you, I'm going to take you back in the time when you were in the service. Your colleagues, your seniors have said this about you, that she just doesn't listen. A lot of your seniors actually would have preferred to have you buried 200 feet below. How did you take that? How did you respond to that? What kept you going?
I don't listen to irrational commands.
Can you say that again? Because my bosses are here. Can you say that again?
I wish the seniors get into a habit of listening. If they want the juniors to listen, they must also listen to the juniors. And if they would go into arbitrary, hierarchical, one-sided commands, then if the junior has the courage to say, sir, please listen to me too. I know the situation better. But if the senior is influenced and mind made up and doesn't want to listen to the junior can say, yes, sir. I don't say, yes, sir. I say, please hear me. It's my duty to share this with you. It's my duty to tell you. If I don't tell you, then I'm probably failing in my duty.
There's a documentary, an award-winning documentary on Kiranji. It's called Yes, Madam, Sir. Now, she went on, when she joined the services, she was called that girl. And then she was called Madam afterwards. And then finally, she was called Sir. Ma'am, we want to hear from you. How did that happen? It's a beautiful story. I know it, but we want to hear from you.
1972, I became the first woman to join the Indian Police Service.
I think we have to clap for that. Come on, guys.
It was a quirk of destiny. I didn't design it. The women hadn't joined in, or if they did, they were persuaded not to insist on joining. So was I. 1972, I was called by the then Union Home Minister, Mr. K.C. Pant, who's still alive and around. And he said, are you sure you still want to continue joining? You can look at others. And I said, sir, I've earned this position. I know what I'm asking for. I'd been an NCC cadet, having been a sportswoman. I knew this is the job for me. I was very sensitive to people's injustices around. And I knew that the good policeman does instant justice. So he welcomed this. After that, I was that girl. Because now for Mr. K.C. Pant, I was a strong girl. But people in the forces didn't know that I'm a background who's come with this kind of upbringing, competitiveness, etc.
So you were actually called that girl?
I was called that girl. Because I was short. I was not big. I was probably the thinnest looking from the shortest and thinnest looking from all the early girls. So they kept saying that girl. So that is the time when one of my senior said, he tried to correct the juniors, but it was a male world.
Right.
So therefore it was called that girl. A ladki, mujhe kehte the, a ladki. Then once a senior called me saying, a ladki. I said, I'm sorry, sir. I'm Kiran.
Kya baat hai? All right. I'm going to ask you another question that I don't know if you've ever been asked this question, but do you ever chill out?
I do. I do. I do. You'd be amazed to know how.
How?
By being 3 hours on the treadmill.
That's chilling out?
Cross trainer and a bike. I love it. Or nice long walks in Lodi Garden. Just nice long walks. And then during the walk, then after that, sit on the stool for a while, and then go to Gymkhana Club for a Nimbu Pani, just by myself. I love exercise with the chill. For me, chilling out means being by myself, in my own silence, in a space of my own, within nature, but activity.
Superb. I think we need to give Kiranji a huge round of applause.
By the end of the event, everybody present indeed felt like Kritika had helped them form a truly candid connection with Dr. Kiran Bedi.
Now this was one fantastic evening. A big thank you going out to 105.4 Radio Spice, full to twisted. Now this was an enjoyable and very, very insightful evening. Now I don't think there's anybody other than Kritika who can get away with questions like that. But what a pleasure it was to see two women of substance on one platform. Time now to take a small break. After the break, it's time to eat one more time.